Hi guys, Reform UK are very worried about the idea that there will be punishment for anyone inciting violence online or in the media. In order to keep voters angry and looking for someone to find as a scapegoat for them, it's necessary for parties or companies like Reform to be able to throw red meat to their base and basically lie to the public. Here Richard Tice was speaking to Julia Hartley-Brewer about his fear of censorship. But of course, this isn't a restriction on freedom of expression. It's about punishing those who shout fire in a crowded theatre. Have a listen.
What do you make, just finally, about the threat of more online censorship?
I think actually it's terrifying because genuinely, and I've had it literally in the last few days, people are saying to me, well, I know it's wrong, but I'm concerned about what I put out there on social media in case I'm going to get arrested. I mean, this is the stuff of dictatorships in China or North Korea or Russia, for heaven's sake. I didn't put the United Kingdom alongside those countries, but maybe we should, if that's really what this Labour government is going to do, despite the fact that it's some of his own Labour MPs who, frankly, have been part of the problem during these recent days. I didn't mention Jess Phillips when I tweeted out the appalling things that were going on literally behind a Sky News reporter live on air.
In her Birmingham constituency.
In her own constituency. Jess Phillips was justifying vigilante behaviour to protect property because of rumours around it. Maybe that's what the police are there to do, to defend property and to prevent rioting, as opposed to justifying vigilante groups.
Okay, take with a pinch of salt anyone who talks about freedom of expression and free speech, while at the same time campaigning or suggesting that the UK should leave the European Convention on Human Rights. Be it Tories or be it members of Reform like Richard Tice, Nigel Farage, Ben Habib or anyone else. Because the European Convention on Human Rights protects freedom of expression. These people want to leave it. So they don't care about protecting freedom of expression. What they do care about protecting is the ability to incite violence and get away with it. See, up until this stage, maybe the Tories didn't give a damn because the Tories are not interested in clamping down on hate speech and stuff like that. But since these riots, and look, we've seen people being arrested for engaging in the violence, but we've also seen people arrested for egging on these rioters and sharing misinformation, which resulted in people attacking, for example, an asylum centre. So what the government should be doing is clamping down on this incitement, on hate speech. But of course, this is a problem for the likes of Reform UK and certain Tories, because they need to be able to do these things. They need to be able to rile people up, to put out misinformation, to convince people that, well, X is Y and Y is X. You know, they need to be able to convince people that something is happening when it's not true. And one thing is putting out misinformation. Another thing is that misinformation being used by a group of people to, for example, attack a mosque or an asylum centre. So this is what the likes of Reform UK and some Tories are concerned about. The so-called censorship. This is not censorship. You know, we've already seen people being arrested under existing legislation. Legislation that goes back to 1985. So this is nothing new. It's not Starmer walking in the door and pushing through a legislation that's going to take away people's right to express themselves. Once again, your right to expression is protected under the European Convention on Human Rights. If these people truly believe that Starmer is going too far, or the new government is going too far, then take them to the European Court of Human Rights. But they won't, because they wouldn't have a case, they wouldn't have a legal leg to stand on. Because it's not infringing on people's right to expression. It's stopping people or punishing people who attempt to incite violence. That has always been the case. But of course, they're trying to spin it as some sort of censorship. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.